Hello, everyone, and welcome to the next episode of Solar Sidekicks. My name is Pat Southwell, and I'll be your host, and today is episode 17 of Solar Sidekicks. First of all, I'd like to acknowledge the traditional landowners of where we're recording this today, and that's the Boonwurrung people of the Kulin Nation, and I pay my respects to all elders, past, present, and emerging. Thanks, everyone, for joining us today. I'm very happy for you to be here and to be listening to all things solar that we're going to be talking about. So I have a guest in the studio today, but first of all, I'll just do a quick tidy up on a couple of things on last week's episode. Thanks very much to Andy McCarthy for coming in, the Big Mac. I think I called him the King of Sting and the Master of Disaster and the one and the only, something along the lines of something from Rocky IV, I think it was. Anyway, I surprised him with that, but thanks, Andy. It was a really heartfelt episode, getting a lot of good feedback on the socials about it. Good luck with your book too, Andy. I've read a lot of it, and it's a truly heartfelt story. Even though I know most of the stuff you were speaking about and a lot of the people you were talking about, it was still very, very intriguing, and I'm learning a lot. So thanks again, Andy, for making the trip. All right. That's pretty much all I want to talk about. There's some stuff in industry news, which I'll go through that a bit later with our guest for today, but let's introduce our guest for today. So making her way from country Victoria, our guest today is Ashlie Bryan from Solargain. Welcome to Carrum, Ashlie.
Thanks, Pat. Thanks for having me.
No worries. I appreciate you making the journey in, and you have done already a fair bit of driving this morning.
Yeah, I have.
Yeah.
Left the Echuca store about dark this morning and
Yeah.
made my way down through the city.
Yeah.
I always get a little bit anxious driving through the city.
Yeah, it's a fair way. Oh, you got to watch. Actually, coming that way, you're not too bad. If you're going the other way, if you get in the wrong lane, you're going to end up probably at the airport, or you potentially could end up on your way down to Geelong.
Yeah.
So you got to be careful. Coming the other way, it's probably not too bad, but that's long drive, and then you've got a big drive to get home. So you live in East Gippsland in Bairnsdale.
Yeah, just on the other side of Bairnsdale.
Yep.
Just on our little farm there, and
yeah, cool.
Yeah.
Good stuff. And we're going to talk about your role and in the industry and your role at Solargain and what you've been doing. So something that's I didn't know about you that you let me know in the preparation show notes is that you live off grid.
I do.
Yeah, right. How's that go for you?
Yeah, it's fantastic. I love it.
Yeah.
I'm sure people are probably pretty sick of me telling everyone how good it is.
I didn't know that about you. So yeah, there you go.
Yeah.
All right. Tell me how good it is.
Oh, it's fantastic.
Yeah.
No power bills.
Yeah. Yeah.
But no, it was actually the reason I bought the house, to be honest.
Right.
We had moved from North Queensland and
Yep.
we were living with my brother-in-law, Jeremy, who
Yep.
is also one of the directors at the Gippsland store.
Yeah.
And it was just getting a bit much. We had all of our kids there and
Yeah.
just needed somewhere, that we could have the horses. And as soon as I saw that place was off grid, I was like, that's the one.
Good.
Let's
yeah.
go.
Don't care what's inside.
Don't
Just
care
got
what's
land and I've
inside.
got no power bills. So yeah.
And we've been renovating it ever since because
cool.
I should have looked at some other things, but it's off grid, so that's all that matters.
That's what matters.
Yeah.
How long you been there? How long you been in the house now?
2.5 years we've been in the house for now.
Yeah, right. Have you had to do much maintenance on the off-grid stuff, like on the actual, like on the batteries or the inverters or anything like that?
No, not at all. So we've got a pretty good setup. We've got Fronius, BYD, Electronic.
Sounds like a good combination.
Yeah, it's a good little combination. The system was originally designed for the old owners, so it's just two older people.
Yep.
So it's probably a little bit small for all of us.
Yeah.
But we make it work, and I am considering upgrading to another battery stack, some inverter. But
Yeah, cool.
yeah, no, it's good. I'm a bit of a Nazi though.
Yeah.
Don't turn this on while this is on, and this one can only be on by itself. You can run these two together.
Cool.
Yeah.
Have you ever had any issues where it goes out, or it's been pretty good?
Yeah, no,
it has gone out.
It has gone out.
Yeah.
Usually when I forget to fill the generator up,
Yep.
and it's 9 o'clock at night, and the kids are like, "We've got no power."
Oh no. Yeah. Oh well, better doing that than paying a power bill.
Oh, 100%, and it's a good experience, and
Yeah.
I love talking about it. So.
Yeah, great.
Yeah.
Oh, good stuff. All right, good. That's a great welcome and a great introduction. So, I'm interested in your role at Solargain. But first of all, let's go for the obligatory question: are you a solar sidekick or are you a solar superhero? Ashlie, where do you fit?
So I did thought about this yesterday.
Yeah. It's a big question now. It's turning.
Big question.
It's a lot of pressure on it.
I'm a little bit nervous listening to everyone else's answers.
Yeah.
But, I would say I'm definitely a solar sidekick at the moment.
Yep.
Everyone's little sidekick, I guess, across the stores.
Yeah, fair enough.
But I do love it. I love being everyone's little go-to sidekick.
Yep.
So
yeah, cool.
hopefully a superhero eventually. But
So you're a problem solver by the sound of it.
yeah, well, I try to be.
Yeah. Yeah. So you're all right, let's talk a little bit about your role. So you're an EA at Solargain. Is it just Solargain or is it just so you're doing a lot of the regional stores? Do you have much to do with the Melbourne office at all, or is it just not much at all?
No, so I deal I have a few conversations with pretty much Solargain nationally. I deal with a lot of the team members from around, but just for mainly the 4 stores that Bryn has got.
Yep.
So Hastings, which is Solar 360
Yep.
on the Mornington Peninsula there. Gippsland, which is based in Bairnsdale.
Yep.
Echuca store. And then also Solargain Northeast in Wangaratta.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Cool. And you sort of so you're jumping between each, and sounds like you've had a big week. You've already been. So you came from Echuca this morning.
Yeah.
Have you been up there all week, or you been around?
Yeah. No, I've been up there all week.
Yeah.
So I drove up Sunday night and then spent the week there.
Yep.
Drove back down here this morning and back off to Gippsland this afternoon.
Got an interesting question for you. So you've obviously come back through Melbourne, right? Do you ever go across the mountain to go home?
Yes, I do.
You do. Obviously, you're probably not going to do it now because it's the middle of winter and it's too risky.
Yeah. So I actually prefer to go over Hotham.
Yeah,
it's
right.
It's just a nicer drive. Don't have to go through the city.
It's actually not a bad drive.
No, it's
so
not.
I did that drive the first time ever. I went from Wangaratta to Bairnsdale and stayed the night in Omeo. I did that in I think it was March or April, something like that. It's beautiful. Like I knew it would be beautiful. The road was actually much better than I thought.
Yeah, it's pretty good. I prefer to go that way. And there's only, I think it's 50 kilometres shorter in distance, but it takes like an extra hour.
Does it take longer, does it?
Yeah, I think it's so windy and steep and but it's a much nicer drive.
Yeah, it's more relaxing, that's for sure.
Yeah, definitely.
And it's the bad bit's only like really bad. The bad bit is only like right when you're up near the top of the mountains. And then and that's where you've sort of got to slow down, and that's where the best views are too.
Yeah,
that's what I found. And then the other bits you can kind of do 100 through a lot of it.
Yeah, absolutely. The Omeo road's pretty bad at the moment though, but
is this just because of snow?
No, just washed out and potholes and slows down a little bit, but
fair enough.
Yeah, it's much nicer.
Yeah, cool.
But this time of year, you've got to hire chains and go slow. So
no, fair enough. All right, well that's good. You came back through the other way and gave you a reason to come back to drop into Carrum and do this show. So that's great. So what's your normal day kind of look like? So you're an EA. What does that? I know what an EA is, but what does that mean? What does it mean for you?
Well, I actually don't know if EA is the right word for it.
Yeah.
I wear a few different hats in my role.
Yep.
Pretty much everything from lead generations to leads coming in to discussing systems with customers.
Yep.
Sales, quoting, connections, SolarVic, marketing.
So that's kind
SEO,
of it. Yeah, that's kind of everything.
Pretty much everything. Yeah.
Yeah.
Which is probably why I'm a good little sidekick. I think.
That's a good one. No, that's fair enough. No, that makes sense. So yeah, it doesn't sound like a role of an EA. Actually, you sound like
I don't think it even.
You don't dress like an EA either.
No.
Is that your normal work attire you're wearing now?
Yeah.
So for those not on YouTube, it's basically what is it? Black jeans and a hoodie. Is that right?
Yeah, with a pair of nice orange heels.
Orange heels?
Just to,
Well, that's a bit more of an EA.
Dress up the hoodie.
Dress it up a bit. Yeah. Yeah. That's cool. All right. Good stuff. So, so what do you like about working for Solargain? You've been there a while now, right? So 4 years?
Yep.
Yeah. So what do you like about it?
Oh, well, I love working at Solargain unexpectedly, to be honest.
Yeah.
Like I was never, it was.
How'd you get into it?
So when we first moved from North Queensland to Gippsland, Bryn had asked me if I could just come and help in the office, like, a couple of hours, couple of days a week.
Did you know Bryn before, did you?
Yeah. Right. Bryn and I have actually been good mates for about 22 years.
Right, okay. There you go.
Yeah. So we've known each other since we were kids. He's like, oh, can you just help out in the office? We really need someone, just general admin, making job packs. And I was like, yeah, sure. And my youngest at the time was 2, and I actually took her to work with me, and she'd just sit in the office and have her little snacks and get it. And then I really enjoyed just everything in the industry at the time and wanted to progress further.
Yep.
And kind of got to the point where I wasn't able to progress in the role where I wanted to. And that's where Bryn created this role for me. And, you know,
did he feel like he was losing you maybe? Because you were like, oh, you're getting a bit itchy going, I kind of want a bit more than this.
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah. I definitely wanted more. You know, just the general, you're an administration lady.
Yep.
You can vacuum my floor and clean my desk and take the rubbish out, and I didn't love that.
Yeah,
so
fair enough.
I wanted more, and Bryn created this opportunity for me, and here I am.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah.
That's pretty cool.
Yep.
And it's definitely like a lot of places that you work, or a lot of companies around, you know, they do call themselves a bit of a family, but it's a bit different with Solargain, I think. So I noticed that. I worked at Solargain about 10 years ago.
Yep.
And it's a bit different than what it is now, obviously. It's a bit bigger now than what it was. Probably half similar, but it came from a family company.
Yep.
And you kind of do feel that when you work there.
100%.
Yeah.
Like Solargain, it is a massive family. I think especially for me working across so many stores.
Yep.
I've built so many great relationships with everyone there, and we really relate to each other, and it is actually a family. And even everyone over in WA as well. Like I've been over to head office, and it is just a big family. Yeah.
Are they still calling the shots over there? That's what they used to do. Oh, look, I wasn't really into the like the politics or anything like that of it. I was just a service worker back then. I just sort of took the role as just, you know, changing inverters and cleaning panels and changing isolators and all that sort of stuff. So I was very removed from it, but I could feel a lot of the workplace health and safety emails used to come from WA. A lot of the policies used to come from WA. People used to visit from WA, and everyone would get nervous and that sort of stuff. So that would happen. Probably hasn't changed too much, has it? They're sort of still.
It's still similar.
Yeah.
We everything's a little bit more streamlined now, I guess, and designed specifically for each store. Obviously, we're all a little bit different. Different processes and markets and retailers and regulations, requirements, stuff like that. So but the first time I went to head office, I was a bit nervous as well. I didn't know what I was walking into.
No, fair enough. So what's the setup? Is it are they all franchised out, the Solargain, or are they all owned by Solargain?
No, so it's a dealership model. So
dealership, yes. Okay.
Dealership model. So they've all got their own owners and directors.
Yep.
Yeah,
okay, cool. Oh, that's
slightly
good.
different to a franchise.
Yeah, it is slightly different. There's definitely differences in that. And so you're working at all of them. Are you gonna pick your favourite?
I don't know if I can do that on
air,
Pat.
little bit controversial. What do you like about? Oh, let's pick one. So Wayne Grata, what's your favourite thing about Wayne Grata? What do you like?
The country.
Yeah.
It's beautiful over there. Alpine country.
Yeah.
No, it is beautiful. Wayne Grata's the oldest store.
Yep.
So their processes and everything's pretty, cemented, which is good. I did get asked by one of the directors the other day to make special mention to Gippsland on the podcast, but he organised a golf day yesterday without me, so I'm not going to do that.
Oh, what today? Is the golf day today?
Yesterday.
Oh no. You missed out on the golf day. Where are they doing that?
At the Lindenow Golf Club.
Oh, Lindenow. Yeah. Not far from Besdale.
No, not far at all.
It's where all the vegetables are grown in that area, isn't it?
Yeah.
Every time we've gone down there.
Lots of cabbages.
That's it. Yeah. No, that's cool. All right. So, that's two stores you've you mentioned there.
My favourite store though is a Chuka.
Is it really?
Yeah.
You're happy to say that?
Yeah, I'm happy to say that. I love it up there. Bryn knows I love a Chuka.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Probably good to get away as well.
Yeah. No, it is good to get up there.
Yeah. So how do you go juggling your family life and your work life, right? So you got kids, you got young kids, similar to me, I think. Is it 3 you've got? Do you have 3?
Yep,
you got
three girls.
Three girls, right.
15, 12 and 6.
Yeah, okay, cool. Yeah, so 6-year-old, gonna be like, they're obviously very still relying on their parents and that sort of stuff. How do you manage that with your partner? How do you sort of...
Craig and I have always done it by ourselves pretty much. So we both equally parent. So when I'm away, it's it's sort of everything is as usual. Everything still goes on the way it
There's
usually does.
no dad's rule. Do they try and get away with stuff that they can't get away with mum?
No, he's
or
not
no?
babysitting.
No.
Just parenting.
Yeah, I know that my kids certainly will ask a question to their mum, and if they get a negative answer, sometimes they'll come and ask me. We don't like it when they do that.
Yeah, they definitely, when I'm at home, they'll definitely walk past.
Yep.
Yelling for mum to get something that was probably behind dad, but
yeah. So you guys reckon? So to me, that sounds like you've kind of worked it out, like, because that can be such a hard balance for people.
Yeah, absolutely.
Working away, I know how hard it is working away, because I probably do. I do a lot of Ks when I work. I go away a fair bit, and Joe's left, to keep an eye on the kids and make sure they go to school and do all the things by themselves, get them to footy training, all those sort of things. And it's hard. It's hard doing it by yourself.
Yeah, absolutely.
Sounds like you guys have kind of worked it out.
Yeah, we just do it.
Yeah, that's cool.
And I don't know. For me, it's like I've spoken to the girls. How do you feel? And they're like, I'm fine. I'm like, okay. For me, it's, I guess, setting the example for the girls that they can travel for work.
For sure.
They can have a family. They can have a farm. They can still do whatever they want. Because you can make it work. You don't have to, fall into that category of you're the mum, you have to stay home.
Don't have to do it the way everyone
dad can go away for work, but mum has to stay home,
Yeah.
So it shouldn't be like that.
Definitely
I don't want
not.
them to think it's like that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Does he go away for work at all?
He does, yeah.
Okay, so you're sharing it a bit.
Yeah, so we tag team a little bit. He goes away and then I'll go away and
yeah. He's a plumber, isn't he?
He is, yeah.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
That's right. No, I remember that conversation we had about audits
that's
and
right.
stuff.
He'd had his first audit.
Yeah, that's right. You came up and we had a chat in Sydney about because he got his first audit and he was a little bit worried because it's just not regulated the way solar is.
No, not at all. So he was stressing, and once it happened, the inspector pretty much said to him, I wish everyone installed hot water systems like this.
Yeah.
Good job, and he's like,
yeah,
stressing for nothing.
Yeah, they're not used to it. Plumbers, not used to it. Like
no,
Sparkies are kind of a bit used to it, but in solar, you've got no choice. You're getting audited. You're doing solar.
That's right.
Unless you're working on multi-million dollar houses that don't have STCs, you're inspected to look at it, but you're not. Then you may not fall under the Solar Vic rebate or even STCs.
Yep.
But there's not many people doing that. So pretty much everyone gets audited and everyone's used to it.
Absolutely. And this was a Solar Vic job.
They're doing
just a heat pump.
Heat pumps, yeah.
Yeah. And like when I saw it come in, I was like, it happens. Everyone needs to be audited. Learn from your mistakes if necessary. And he didn't see it like that. He was.
Someone's watching me. What's going on? I get it. I think they need it though. The plumbers.
Yeah. Oh, they do.
Every one of the plumbers that I speak to about this sort of stuff, they think that the workmanship in the plumbing industry is declined at a more rapid rate than in electrical or other trades. And a lot of people still say electrical and solar is not where it needs to be. I mean, I agree with that from the stuff I see in inspectors.
Absolutely. Like, obviously, we know the solar industry is so heavily regulated.
Yeah.
Plumbing industry isn't regulated like that.
No.
So many things can go wrong, I guess. There's plenty of plumbers out there doing gas when they shouldn't be. And,
Yeah, that's right, isn't it?
Not
Yeah, because it's another license, isn't it?
It is, yeah. It's another license. And there's so many out there that are doing gas and they shouldn't be. And they're just working under someone's license and they've had no training in gas
that's
whatsoever.
scary, isn't it?
And they just, do it. But obviously gas is on its way out. So
yeah, that's
hopefully we'll start seeing less of that.
Yeah, definitely. Well, I think we already are.
Yeah.
Contrary to some reports I heard on the news, not that I watch the news much anymore, but I think I heard something about gas connections were up. I heard that. But what they failed to say, they didn't mention how many disconnections there was or abolishments.
Yep.
So, because apparently people are still getting gas, because it's about to be. It's soon you won't be able to get it.
No,
I think.
that's right. It's such a hard conversation to have though. Like we'll have people come in for a heat pump, for a quote.
Yep.
And then in the end, they're like, no, you know what? I'm just going to replace my gas system instantaneous. I just want to have hot water all the time. I was like, wow, okay. So we just put an ice in our place because there was an existing instantaneous there. We were
instantaneous gas?
Well, it was solar.
Oh, solar. Okay.
The solar hadn't worked for years, so it was just instantaneous all the time.
Yep.
And we were spending like $150 a month on gas because,
Is it LPG?
Yeah.
Yeah, right.
you know, teenage daughters, hot water.
Yeah, I can imagine.
Yeah.
Yeah, right. Oh, that's so. There's gas out. Most of the country Victoria's got gas, hasn't it?
Yeah.
I know there's some areas that don't, but I think all the places you'll be selling in, they've all got gas.
Yeah.
So
gas is really big.
Yeah. So you're having that you are having that conversation with customers, are you, about getting rid of gas? That's
absolutely.
that is definitely a big thing.
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely. You know, you and I know how good heat pumps are.
Yep.
But trying to relay that to the customer when they're so stuck on gas.
Yeah.
And having that hot water just whenever they want it, not having to think about it.
Yep.
Is a tough conversation to have.
Yeah.
Changing their minds. Regional people trying to change their mind on gas. It's a tough conversation.
For sure. I know. Well, we had a similar conversation last week with Andy McCarthy. It's gas and coal are sort of similar because they're both old industries, both on their way out. And you talk about it in Gippsland where coal has been people's bread and butter really for a lot of years. And now you're getting people off coal and on solar and getting heat pumps and all that sort of stuff. There's a bit of pushback. There's definitely a bit of pushback.
Absolutely. And it's a totally different market. Just across the stores, obviously our Hastings store, it's a lot of metro. It's a metro market.
Yep.
But then you've got Gippsland. It's a totally different market.
Yeah.
It's totally different. You've got to sell it differently. You've got to explain it to them differently. And a lot of the time, it's so hard and people won't come on board. You just can't get them to understand the importance of it or how beneficial it's going to be. They're just really stuck in their ways.
Yeah. Do you feel like that's interesting. Make that comparison between Hastings and Gippsland. Do you reckon that's a lot? Like, is it out in Bairnsdale? It's pretty relaxed out there, and Hastings is I wouldn't really call Hastings a hustle bustle sort of place. It's pretty relaxed.
Never used to be.
No,
I grew up down there. But 20 years ago, it's totally different now.
Yeah, it's certainly now it's kind of a bit like a suburb of Melbourne.
It is, 100%.
Yeah.
As soon as we came back, because we were in Cairns for 17 years, came back and I was like, wow, this is totally different. What's this new freeway? Like, how do I even get there? Where does it take me? I don't know.
Well, do you feel that people are much more relaxed out in Gippsland compared to
definitely.
Hastings, I suppose?
Yeah.
Yeah, see, I found the people in Hastings a lot more relaxed than they are sort of around here.
Really?
Oh, yeah. I reckon. And even around here, people are more relaxed than they are in the city.
Yeah.
I think. So, it just depends. I think traffic. I think the traffic around
traffic gets
is...
me.
Yeah.
Obviously, you get peak hour down here. We get like peak minute in Bairnsdale. And I'm like, this traffic's so bad. But,
I do notice, though, if you're making your way from... Like you're coming from Lakes, not necessarily from Lakes, from the other. A lot of people go the other way from like Nicholson and that and Swan Reach and all that.
Yeah, that little roundabout.
Yeah, the roundabout. That's horrible.
It is horrible.
That's horrible. And I've been stuck there for like 20 minutes before.
Yeah, I have to come through that roundabout every morning when I'm in the office. It's insane.
Yeah, for sure. Oh well, yeah, but it's definitely different life out there. Definitely a different life out there. Have you lived in the city before?
No.
Never?
No, never lived in the city. I think the most time I've ever spent in the city is a couple of days when I'm away at a conference.
Right.
Yeah.
They're most of the times I see you as well.
Yeah, it is.
Somewhere at a conference. Yeah, good stuff. All right, well, that's been a really good start to the show. Thanks, Ashlie. We might, I think we'll go to our first break. And there's some other stuff that you're doing in the industry that I want to talk about. When we come back, I want to talk about the Gippsland Women in New Energy.
Yep.
You're involved with that, so we want to have a chat about that. And there's some other things to talk about too. I'm really interested in talking about the industry news as well this week, which we'll do sort of at the end. But yeah, just especially concerning the products approvals with CEC and the CER and all that sort of stuff. I think that's really interesting and very topical at the moment. So we'll talk about all those sort of things when we come back, and we'll be back in just a few moments. Okay, and we're back from our first break. All right. Ashlie, thanks for that. We've had a nice little chat in the break. I had a teddy bear biscuit. I don't think you had one anyway. No, you didn't. No, actually, I was having a chat with Andy McCarthy last week, and they were the last ones in my biscuit stash. So he's going, unlucky to the person who gets teddy bear biscuits next week.
Thanks, Andy.
Yeah.
Ate all my Tim Tams.
yeah. They were good last week, the Tim Tams, actually.
Bet they were.
Yeah, they were good. All right, Ashlie, let's talk about Gippsland Women in New Energy. So I don't know that much about this. Not being from Gippsland, I've done a little bit of research and I knew you were involved with this organisation, and I know there's other organisations around like a Wise.
Yep.
This is a little bit different though. So Gippsland Women in New Energy. What can you tell us about this?
So Gippsland Women in New Energy, obviously not solar energy.
Yeah.
Covers, renewables as a whole.
Yep.
So most of the ladies are actually in the wind sector.
Yes.
Which I know nothing about, other than people arguing with me that it's going to kill too many birds. Because cars
I keep hearing that too. It's
cars and windows don't already do that. But
yeah.
So I'm the only one in solar.
Yes.
Which is good.
Yep.
We kind of bounce off each other and learning a little bit about what everyone's doing.
Yep.
So it's quite fresh. It's only recently come up.
Yep.
We've had one event so far, and we went to a job fair this week, which I couldn't attend because I was at one of the other stores.
So that would have been in Gippsland, was it?
It was, yeah.
Where was that?
The job fair in Traralgon.
Traralgon, yep,
yeah,
okay.
Yeah. We have got another event coming up at Gippsland New Energy Conference in Traralgon as well.
Yep.
So we've got a breakfast we're hosting on the second day, on the 4th.
Yeah, cool.
Yeah, which is going to be fantastic. If anyone wants tickets, go to Humanitics.
Yeah, right.
Get some tickets. You can get a membership, get some tickets. But, yeah, mainly because, Gippsland's such a large area and so much of Victoria's energy comes from Gippsland.
It's you're right, it's a huge
massive.
area. And I think all of the coal-fired generators are out there. All of them are.
Yep.
You're right.
We
There's a
steer
massive
away
amount.
from coal.
Oh, of course. Well, it's not really new energy, is it?
No,
It doesn't really fit your criteria there. Yeah, for sure. But yeah, you're right. It's a huge area. It's a huge area. So what are you guys doing? So you're looking to support women in the industry and
absolutely. So like I said, because it is such a big area, there's no support out there for women in the industry.
Yep.
Just little things like going to these job fairs, letting students know that there is an opportunity in renewables.
Yeah. So what, high school students?
Yeah.
They're coming to these job fairs?
Yeah, absolutely.
Yep, okay. Yep.
And just know that there's support out there for women to enter into the renewable sector. It doesn't have to be solar, it doesn't have to be wind.
Yep.
But there's so many opportunities in getting in different avenues. It doesn't just have to, you don't just have to install.
Yeah.
If you don't want, you can if you want to. But
Yep.
If you don't want to, you don't have to. You can do training courses like through New Energy Training.
Yep.
You don't have to be an electrician to do that.
That's
but you
right.
can still gain that knowledge.
Yep.
And gather the expertise to go down that path.
Yep.
So at the moment, like I said, it's pretty fresh, but we just want to build that support and awareness around what's available to people in the industry.
Yep.
Oh, sorry, people that want to get into the industry. Just trying to destroy your studio here.
That's all right. That's all right. No worries.
Yeah, so I'm really looking forward to our next event, which is going to be at Momo's in Traralgon.
Yep.
Breakfast event, nice and early.
Yep.
On the second day of a conference. So
yeah, cool.
That'll be fantastic.
That's a good little setup at Momo's in Traralgon. Been there a couple of times. That's quite good, actually. Yeah, right. Okay, so providing support for women in the industry in Gippsland and also advising women about pathways, about getting into the industry.
Yep.
Yeah. Yeah, cool. That's really good because I think I've spoken with Bobby about this sort of stuff. Like, it doesn't just it doesn't have to be your second or third option to work. In a trade-based background, I suppose you call it a trade-based industry. You don't have to. It can be the first. Can be the number one thing you do. And there's options. There's good careers definitely for women. And you're just highlighting that and showing some support. So that sounds like a really, really cool thing you girls are doing. How many of you are sort of got together and are doing this at the moment?
Yes, there's about 6 of us on the committee at the moment.
Yep.
So we just work together, back each other up where we can.
Yep.
So hopefully we can get more. If anyone wants to be a committee member,
Yeah.
feel free to reach out.
Yep.
The more the merrier.
Yep.
More people to bounce off different areas within the industries and
Yep.
grow it, hopefully. Get mentors out and support, awareness,
Yep.
even just advice, you know, like if someone wants to ring and go, hey, I feel like I want to be in the industry. Where should I start? I don't know what I want to do. I didn't finish school. How can you help? What are my options? Yeah. Just have someone to talk to.
Have some mentoring there. And it doesn't have to be like official mentoring. It can be kind of just pretty casual.
Yeah, just a chat.
Yeah. Yep.
And, you know, everyone's going to have different areas that they're going to want to exceed in. And
yep.
Yeah.
So the other women who are part of this, is they part of the Star of the South? Is that right?
Yeah, Star of the South.
Yeah.
Yep.
Do you know much about that? Do you know much about Star
of
the South? I was sort of going to ask you about it, thinking you might, because I don't.
No, I don't, unfortunately. And I was actually having this conversation with someone the other day. Someone had asked me about marine batteries and how to monitor them, and I obviously know a little bit about batteries. And, marine batteries and monitoring. I'm like, no, I have no idea. So I know about as much about marine batteries as I do about wind.
Yeah, right. So
hopefully I can, you know, grow that knowledge a little bit.
Yeah, I've got to look a little bit more into it. I feel like we're so in our like solar bubble.
Oh, 100%. Like, I'll talk solar all day. I'm pretty sure they're getting sick of me.
Yep. Anyone who knows me would be the same. Would be exactly the same. Just talking about solar all the time. Yeah, because that's it. That's what our whole world is.
Oh, it is. And even the kids, like someone will ask a question about solar and they'll just roll their eyes and they're like, oh, mum's not going to shut up now. Like,
you've got her going
now.
Don't
ask about solar.
You've got her going now.
Yeah.
Oh, that's cool. Oh, that's good. Well, it's good. It's really good to see the support for women coming into the industry and ones that are already there. I feel like that's been sort of building as well. Like organisations like Wise have been doing, similar type of things. Obviously, in different areas. Your team is you're looking at mainly the Gippsland area. I feel like that's pretty cool. Do you still find like there's challenges being a woman in a male-dominated industry? Is that something you still come up against?
100%.
Yeah. Do you feel like is it getting better, or you don't think it is, or where do you reckon it's at?
Look, for me, it's definitely getting better.
Yeah.
Because I feel like every situation that I've come up against, which, you know, there's been a few, they've not been ideal.
Yep.
I've pushed past it.
Yep.
Not given up.
Yep.
Because in the back of my mind, I'm like, you know, if I give up because of this shitty situation.
No, it's okay. Yeah, that's all right. I don't think I think Spotify allows that. Yeah, that's all right.
You know, if I give up because of what's happened,
yep.
I'm setting that example for my girls. You know,
that's really interesting.
If I push through and make everyone know that that's not okay, I'm not going to put up with it, but I'm going to keep pushing through because I have goals.
Yep.
Hopefully things are going to change. Things are going to get better. People are going to start realising that it's not okay.
Yep.
And, you know, same with, you know, women starting apprenticeships, whether it's in, you know, electrical or plumbing or whatever. I see why they quit, you know, and usually they're so young, they just don't have the backbone for it yet. And what they have to put up with, you know, is horrible and it needs to change.
Yep.
Hopefully it will, especially, you know, with what Wise are doing, and it will change eventually.
Yep.
But I think it's just going to take a lot more people that are going to want to push through it and help others through it and set those examples.
I think you're right. Like pushing through it is, it sounds really bad because you're telling, in some ways, we're sort of telling people to just endure the pain, I suppose. But what comes at the end of it, like if everyone just quit, then people are just going to keep getting away with it.
Absolutely.
And like you mentioned, you know, setting an example for your girls. I think that's very commendable of you for doing that, and I think it's good. That's a good reason as well. Yeah. Really good reason, setting an example to them. But I think if you do speak up and say things, people are going to be, you know, less likely to do it again, I think.
Yeah, that's right. Yep.
And that's the way to change things, I think. So I want to say well done on, I don't want to say well done on enduring what you have, but I will say well done on pursuing and sticking at it, because I think that's very commendable, and it's helping the industry. It's helping the industry too, and the people in, you know, 10, 20 years' time hopefully won't have to go through the same type of things.
Hopefully. I'll have a story to tell one day.
Yeah, yeah. No, fair enough. No, that's all good. Well, look, I think I think it's getting better. I can see it getting better, but I can still see certain things happening.
It is getting so much better. Just even the short amount of time I've been in the industry, things have changed so much.
Yep.
Like not just obviously products, but just the way people are, I want to say accepting women in the industry.
I think they're just more respectful of
they are getting a lot more respectful.
Yeah.
And, really realising that women are passionate about this as well. And who cares? Who cares if you're a man or a woman? If you're passionate about solar, just go for it. Do it. We're here to grow the industry. We're not here to, dismiss someone because they're not a man or,
No.
At the end of the day, it's about the industry.
For sure.
If it's going to work.
Definitely. Like I've heard Christine Kennedy talking about this sort of stuff. Like, so she was coming to events, quite early on when she first started getting into solar and doing some stuff with Reese at Total Solar, getting involved. And she used to say, like, she was making all the decisions for the products and everything like that. And all the guys would just look at Reese. So she'd be talking and they'd be answering back to Reese, like that sort of stuff. I don't feel like that stuff happens as much now. I think people are more conscious of it. And if they are doing those sort of things, they've got an unconscious bias. It's being picked up and they're like, we need to, this isn't, I don't know why I'm talking to the guy because she's the one making the decisions here. So I need to talk to her.
Yeah, 100%.
I think people are getting a little bit better at that sort of stuff.
We get it in the office still.
Yeah.
So at the Gippsland office in particular, Rowan, he's the administration person.
Yep.
And I'll be sitting there at the desk beside him. We'll have customers walk in and they will always go to the man in the office.
Yeah.
When I'm the one that can answer their questions, they'll go to the man first. And then, they'll be directed to me.
Yep.
But it is. It's I don't know if it's a habit or it's just their
I think a lot.
Thought.
Yeah, I think a lot of it's just an unconscious bias that people have got. And there's probably no intention a lot of the time but behind what they've got. I think that's I feel like that's just me. Like I think a lot of people from maybe regional areas that are brought up pretty old school with that sort of thinking, very traditional roles that they are still used to. And they do always just go to the man for that sort of stuff. And
that's right. They're just going to have the assumptions that the knowledge that they're after is going to come from a man who should be a tradesman, who should be, so obviously the bias probably goes both ways.
Yeah. Look, I think it does a little bit. I got a little, that's a slightly funny story. I was down in Hobart a few weeks ago. Look, Hobart's a city, but it's still pretty much a bit of a country town, right? I was at the Salamanca markets and I was having a look at these. Like leggings to like do workouts in and stuff. And I'm having a look and I'm going through it. And the woman who's there goes, your wife will love these ones. And I'm like, no, they're for me. And she's like, oh, that's okay. Yeah, we have sold them to men before. It's okay to buy. And I'm like, I know it's okay. Yeah,
like, you know, it's not me. I'm going to buy them anyway.
Look, and that's not exactly. I understand that's not what women are going through, and this is a little bit different. But I think a lot of the people do have those unconscious biases, and like there's no malice behind what she said, but it's still like it's pretty old school, just sort of thinking that sort of stuff.
Yeah.
So,
but, I'm so lucky that I get to work with who I do.
Yeah.
They, they're all so supportive and
accepting.
Yeah. Like everyone across the stores have all been so fantastic.
Yep.
So I'm very lucky. I know there's a lot of people that aren't in that position.
Yeah.
But I'm grateful.
Oh, that's good.
Yeah.
Oh, that's good. Well, again, another tick to Solargain being inclusive and a great place to work, which is really, really good to hear. All right. Let's have a little quick chat about something else you've been doing. So this is the you did the new energy training for the accreditation design. Is it design accreditation?
So
is that the
I'm
one?
doing design at the moment.
You're doing design at the moment,
but I've done certified advocate.
Yep.
Certified consultant.
Yep.
And Grid Connect site survey.
Cool.
Grid Connect and battery site survey.
Yeah, nice. Yeah. Good stuff.
Yeah.
How'd you find the training? How was it?
It's fantastic.
Yeah.
Yeah. He's such a good trainer. He's so approachable and relatable.
Yep.
And installing still, so he's just knows what he's talking about.
Yep.
Yeah. Perfect role for him. I loved it, and I actually had an interesting conversation with someone who I won't name names.
Yep.
Got into a little bit of a heated discussion about why we should be doing this.
Yep.
When there's electricians out there that have spent 4 years doing an apprenticeship, they should be the ones doing this. And I was like,
doing the site surveys and
design,
okay.
You know.
All right.
And I was like, that's a fair call, but we lack A grades and installers in the industry so much. We can't
Yep.
afford to take them off site to go and quote jobs.
Yep.
This is the perfect opportunity for non-electricians to get this qualification,
Yep.
to build the industry. Because if you start taking all of these qualified installers, we're going to start going backwards.
Yeah.
If we can train everyone. At Solargain, we're putting everyone through the course.
Yep.
So all of our designers, sales consultants, everyone is all doing this.
Cool.
So we're all going to have it.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow. That's awesome.
Yeah.
That's
so
really
it's
cool.
Good. And I think everyone should be doing the same.
Yep.
It just gives just that bit more knowledge, really understanding what you're selling.
Yep.
It's going to hopefully eliminate used car salesmen in the industry.
Yep. Hopefully.
Not that we have used car salesmen, but we just want to go that one step ahead to make sure things are getting done right. You know, it eliminates issues on site for the installers on the day because the job hasn't been looked at properly. And, different, if the phasings haven't been looked at, the voltages haven't been looked at, the customer's going to suffer, the installer's going to suffer.
Yeah.
So making sure that all of our team have got this course.
Yep.
Yeah, it's
be good if there was a way to legislate it, wouldn't it? Like, I mean, I feel like the industry is going to regulate this sort of stuff a bit, and there's going to be a point. I don't know how long it'll take. Yeah,
funny
a couple
you should
of years.
say that though. So there were in last year's notice to Solarvic notice to market.
Yep.
They did make mention that you needed to be an accredited designer.
Yeah.
They made mention.
Yeah. What was that, a should or something like that? Are they starting to recommend it? Because normally when they do that sort of stuff,
it did say from the 1st of March this year.
Yeah.
It needed to be done.
Yeah. Oh, is this
But
the site survey? Oh, it's gone now, has it?
Gone.
I'm going to look into this.
Yeah. Now it says that you must utilise an accredited designer.
Interesting.
I think everyone should have this knowledge.
Yep.
Everyone should have the training.
Yep.
They should mandate it.
Yeah.
I understand it's going to. It's not something they can implement straight away. It'll bottleneck
the
industry.
Yeah, it's also very hard to legislate.
It needs to be a transitional process, but I really feel like we need these qualified people out there.
I agree. I've been saying this the whole time I've been in the industry. So it was since I started in 2009 in solar, and from 2010, I saw straight away there was an issue here with salespeople selling systems. I got no idea, and then installers being stuck with the problem, and then the customer's got the problem, and then everyone's got the problem except the salesperson. And working at places like True Value Solar, I saw that was a huge thing. And this is something I feel like when they did when the Renewable Energy Act 2000, I think it is, when the SRES started and STCs, I felt like the opportunity was then to put that in there. But I back then we didn't know that the industry would turn into what it is now. So it wasn't really made for that. But now I feel like it'd be a good way to work it in there to have designers signing jobs off somehow.
Yeah.
At the sales point.
Yeah, absolutely. And educating your customer as well on, why their plans won't work. You know, they've got a flat roof, they're going to lose production, efficiency.
I know.
They're not going to know this.
No, that's right.
Unless you do the course, you're not going to know.
You don't know. No.
If you've got tilts, what tilts do you need and why do you need them? And just, what type of tile it is. All of these things have such a massive impact on the end result.
It's a lot to know, isn't it?
Oh, it is.
Yeah.
And everyone should know it.
Yeah.
To sell solar.
Yeah.
Because we want to make the industry better.
For sure.
It needs to happen.
Do you reckon there's in that course, like I haven't done that specific course, is there stuff you already really knew quite well and you're like, oh, I know this, I know this, now I've got a ticket to say I do, but was there stuff that you're like,
So far, so obviously at the moment I'm in the process of doing the design course.
Yep.
But from what I'd completed, there was a lot that I knew, a lot that I didn't know.
Yep.
Which was fantastic.
Yeah.
I did the in-class sessions with Israel in Carrum, Supply Partners, and it was just fantastic to have that face-to-face, bounce off even the other people from other companies that were there doing it.
Yep.
What their challenges are and what their level of knowledge was, and there was.
It's good. I find that too. When you're in a classroom environment like that, you learn a lot off the other students.
Oh, you do.
Yeah. Did you make any good friends of any of the people there?
So I've got a few people now.
Yeah. Anyone you can mention on here or not really?
No, probably not really.
No, okay, fair enough. No, that's fair enough. No, that's okay.
They probably wouldn't want me to.
No,
anyway.
that's okay. No, no, that's good. Well, another tick for that new energy training. I'm hearing good stuff about that.
It's absolutely fantastic.
Yep.
And like I said, I think everyone should do it.
Yep.
Definitely can't recommend new energy training enough.
Yeah. No, they're doing good stuff in the industry. It was good to having Lauren on a couple of weeks ago and having a chat about it. And yeah, she gave me some really good insights into it. And doing some great stuff in the industry. Yeah, because you're right, we need it. We got the shortages.
Yeah.
We don't need to take off people who install.
No, we can't.
No.
We need more installers.
That's
we
right.
can't be taking them off to design systems.
That's right.
Yeah.
Exactly right.
Yep.
So get other people to do it who can do it, and it's going to be better for the industry, and we'll get more solar, and we'll get to our net zero quicker, and it'll be better for everyone and the industry. All right, good stuff. All right, that's a nice little segment there. Well, we might go to our next ad break. When we come back, we'll talk about some stuff happening in the industry, and then some closing remarks. All that and a couple of other things more coming up. All right, and we're back from the break. So no teddy bear biscuits this time. I've just gone for a bit of water, which was nice. All right. So actually, let's talk a little bit about what's happening in the industry at the moment. So I'm sure you're aware there's some stuff going on with the CEC and the CER. You've heard about this, haven't you?
Absolutely.
There's a lot happening with the product approvals. Looks like there's the CER's put an intention out there that they're going to reappoint the CEC. I don't know what their exact words were, but unless there's any sort of huge opposition, something along those lines, they're going to reappoint the CEC.
Seen a few emails floating around.
Yeah, absolutely. I think it's fair to say there's been a fair bit of industry backlash from that in the last week or so. And I think a lot of people have been speaking up about what they're calling incompetence from the CEC. And I think they've seen it over the years that there's been companies coming out there now and saying, well, this has been not great for years now. We've had a lot of trouble getting our products approved. There's delays that are sort of unexplained, and it's affecting people's businesses. So I've seen that. I've also seen a response from the CEC. So they put out a letter or an email of some sort, which I got a copy of that sent to me as well. Basically, it was saying that the timeframes are currently around about 4 to 6 weeks, and they also noted that the quality and the completeness of the information can affect these times, and there's a lot of time taken to do these, and sometimes they're affected by the labs getting back to them and the responsiveness of those labs and other people asking for extra information. So I think that's sort of fair enough. Well, the thing about this, which sort of struck me, was as something which it didn't really sit that well with me, to be honest, because they've it's almost like they've said that they're going to improve the products team from now, and they're looking to increase their workforce from 4 to 9 specialists. And I don't know, there's something in me that sort of says, well, why now? Is it just because they're under a bit of scrutiny that they're willing to put the number from 4 to 9? I mean, they've had the products for, I don't know what it is, 15, 16 years now. Like, why now? Why go from 4 to 9 now? I mean, it's probably not going to be a bad result if the CEC do lift their game. But from what, a lot of the people I've sort of spoken to over the last few weeks, they're saying that application times are pretty horrible and they're taking a lot of time and it's unnecessary. So, I don't know. There's been some people who've been asking my opinion on this, and I'm like, it doesn't really bother me either way, but I just feel like the CEC maybe are just I feel like they're just not really taking a lot of the people in the small scale side of things as seriously as maybe they should. And now that things are under scrutiny, now they're deciding to change their tune a little bit and take things a little bit more seriously. But I don't know. You got any thoughts on that?
Well, it might be too late. But
yeah.
No, definitely. We've had our fair share of issues
with
product approvals.
Yeah.
Recently, the wait time, the process has just been horrible.
Do you reckon a lot of that, is it just because it's a rigorous process and takes a lot of time, or do you think there's I don't know, without you trying to put the CEC on the spot or anything like that, do you reckon it's them just missing stuff or not having the resources, or do you reckon it's just a rigorous process that just takes time? Like, what do you reckon?
Look, I think it is a rigorous process. There was a lot to go through to get products approved.
Yep.
Different requirements, as we discussed, that are not needed yet, and that time frame keeps getting pushed back, which has been frustrating.
Yep.
I think it is a rigorous process. But if they did have more resources, that would help as well.
Yeah.
Whether or not it's too late and someone else is going to get that accreditation.
Yeah. Who knows? I mean, look, I've heard a few people also in the last week or two saying that now that the CEC have stepped away from the installer accreditation and designer accreditation, that is now going to free up more resources
100%.
for. Well, the thing is, the way I sort of see that, I would hope that would be the case. But the issue with that is, like, all the people who were doing in the installer accreditation, like, they're not there anymore. So the resosources aren't there to be freed up. So it potentially could free up the focus of the CEC. But I mean, whether they're in it for the small scale people or not, I don't know. Like, they've sort of said in a bulletin that came out a couple of months ago or whatever it was, that they're focusing, they believe they can have more of an impact on the industry looking at policy and advocacy of, like, large solar farms, wind, hydrogen, all those type of things. And that's where they can have more of their impact. I don't understand why I don't think products really falls into that anymore. So I don't know. It's just sort of my opinion from what I've seen. Like, people have been sort of asking me, because you worked at the CC for 5 years, what my opinion is, and it's probably not worth that much anyway. But that's sort of what I can see. Like, the focus now definitely has come away from the small scale side of things, and this product approval thing is something that is directly going to affect small scale businesses.
Yeah. And the small scale businesses are the ones that can't afford to be having these wait times.
Yep.
The industry has been so quiet this year in comparison to, say, the last 2 years.
Yep.
People just can't afford to be waiting for these approvals.
Yeah. So no matter what happens, we've got to bring those approval times down. I mean, they're saying it's 4 to 6 weeks. I'm hearing in the pipeline that some companies are waiting much longer than that. Now, I don't have any written evidence of that or anything, but I have heard that time has blown out a lot more than 4 to 6 weeks. And for me, I feel like that's a lot anyway. So anyway, we'll see what the CER do with all of this. But I don't know. Like, I also feel like with the products thing, I feel like the CEC didn't really communicate that much with the industry with this whole stuff with the panels and the certifications, which are changing the 1st of October this year. I feel like that's still got the potential to impact the industry in a big way, and I feel like that they didn't really let industry know about that as much as they potentially could have, because that's got the potential to almost ruin our industry.
Yeah.
With the amount of panel prices, with what panel prices are doing. And I don't know, that from what I've heard, they were just sort of saying, well, we've told the industry, we've done our bit and that's the end of it. But like, just an email every couple of months or something like that, I feel like that's not really telling the industry exactly what they need to know.
It has been pretty quiet on the panel
side
of things.
Yeah.
People are just going to have so much stock left, and like you said, panel prices are so low. They've dropped so significantly again over the last 2 years.
It's so cheap now, isn't it? So cheap, it's insane.
Cheap. Yeah. Having to move on all that stock or worrying about what panels are going to be ready and what you can sell and forecasting, that's going to be really tricky.
Yep.
And there has been a fair lack of communication around it.
I feel like there has too. I agree with that. I think there has been a bit of a lack of communication. I'm not saying they haven't communicated at all, because they have. There has been communication. I have seen them out there. But I do feel like the people I've spoken to who are in, the warehousing side of things, logistics, procurement, there's some of them that were caught a bit off guard and didn't really understand it that much until maybe November, December, January this year sort of thing. Like, so only at the start of this year, they were working out this is going to have such a big impact. And I feel like that it wasn't communicated as well as it could have been, considering the impact. So anyway, we'll see what happens. Can you see that is that affecting you guys, like with your procurement and those type of things, or it's not?
Well, I can't really speak for SG Wholesale, I guess.
Yeah,
but
okay.
For us,
Yep.
trying to forecast what each store may need up until then, without overdoing it and having stock left, or making sure we've got enough.
Yeah,
it is a bit tricky.
It's very much a balancing act, isn't it?
It is, and even with the inverters, regulations changing with their software monitoring. For obviously emergency backstop. And everything else that's coming up. That's been quite hard as well. And there wasn't a lot of communication around when dates kept changing and push back, push forward, and then other things were implemented so prematurely. Things weren't ready for it, and then they still didn't need to be ready for another 6 months. And even
that's been a difficult one for the industry. That one
it has, and even if it actually is implemented on that date, is it going to get pushed back again? But making sure that we can sell the products, they might not be on the list that we need. It's that's been a tricky one
in the solar industry. We all need to go to Wall Street and join the stock market, because you just hedge your bets on stuff and you're not sure what's going to work. You just I'll have a go at this. We'll see. Oh, that was a win there. Oh, we lost money there. I don't know. I feel like just this never-ending battle of. And the products thing is getting huge.
It is.
It's getting really big now. Waiting on these approvals, what's going to be approved, what different jurisdictions are going to require different requirements. Being on top of it all, it's just adding another layer of complexity to this industry.
Being on top of it all and then having to explain it to the customer why the product's not approved. There's nothing wrong with the product. There's a couple of other aspects that need to be tested first, but for different reasons. Trying to get that across to the customer without them thinking that we're trying to sell them a dodgy product because it's not approved. It's not on the approved list. We'd have customers call and go, they've just booted me out of Solar Vic because my product's not approved. What have you sold me? We're like, oh no.
Trying to explain that to people. Trying to explain that to people. Yeah, and that's the thing. You just say, oh, it's totally fine. They go you're dodgy. That's you got to be. People are going to think that because they don't know.
That's exactly right. Even with the heat pumps, so obviously they've just changed, and we need the new R290 refrigerant. So
I didn't know that, but there you go.
Yeah. So as of the 1st of July, the R290 refrigerant is the new approved refrigerant. The old systems didn't have that. So anything that was in Solar Vic before the 1st of July, customers were then getting this email saying your product's not approved, contact your retailer. It was the same system with a different refrigerant. And the customers were just thinking that we'd sold them this dodgy product that's not approved.
It's not on the approved list.
It can be. Some customers are fantastic. Other customers, they just think you're taking them for a ride. Which is clearly not the case, but things change so fast, and lack of communication.
It's making it hard, isn't it?
Such a hindrance.
Yeah, for sure. Well, I mean, look, at the end of the day, with this whole products thing, I don't know if another organisation is going to do a better job than the CEC. I don't know about that. There are obviously some skilled people at the CEC, skilled engineers that are looking over these documents and approving and all that sort of stuff. I know there's definitely some good people who are there. I just hope if it does stay with the CEC that they do put the resources that are required into it, and they don't just go, oh, well, no one's going to look at us now for another 5 years or whatever it is, and we'll just sort of let it go and let the wait times creep up. I hope that doesn't happen. At least hopefully it does give them a bit of a kick in the pants. Or it's going to get another provider of the scheme on board, and hopefully they can do it better. So hopefully it's going to be an improvement either way.
Fingers crossed.
Fingers crossed, yeah. So we'll see what happens. But watch this space. And I never really used to get into products all that much, but it's really starting to affect the way the industry is all being ran. And from my point of view, being a little bit selfish, if products aren't approved and they're not getting installed or sold, I'm not inspecting systems and I can't make a living either.
That's right. And it's been a big year for product approvals.
Yeah, absolutely.
Changes. It's been a massive year.
It's been a lot. All right, interesting. Oh, well, we'll see what happens. I'm sure the CER will make the right decision, informed on whatever information they have got. But let's hope they do. let's hope they do. All right, cool. Well, that was a little bit extra on industry news today. Oh, the other thing I wanted to mention is there's some news about emerging energies liquidator, I think, has been appointed. So I think everyone was kind of saw that one coming. It's been a bit of an issue for the industry for a while. I know a lot of people who've done a lot of money on it. Unfortunately, not great for our industry, but yeah, we were sort of expecting that. So yeah, I don't know. I don't really have much else to say about that, but I hope it's just some news that had come up, and
there's a lot of very unfortunate people out there.
Yeah,
like you said, everyone saw it coming.
Yeah.
Fortunately, we don't trade.
Yeah.
We didn't trade with emerging energy. We've used Form Bay, but
yep. I know.
People saw it coming.
Yeah, I know.
People were warned.
Yep.
There were red flags.
Yep.
There's a lot of people that probably should have jumped ship sooner.
Yep.
To protect themselves.
Still unfortunate though, isn't it? It's
so
like
unfortunate.
Again, it's another thing to be over, and it's got potential to send people to the wall.
Yep. There's be a lot of people out there that just had hope that it was not going to happen, and
yep.
they can keep trading the way that they were used to and familiar with.
Yeah.
I
think that's
a lot
right.
Of people out there that just don't want to change their ways. They're set in their ways
yep.
and in their routines and habits and processes.
Yep.
It's hard when you get stuck in day to day doing your same processes over and over.
Yep.
To go and change that, I think there was just a lot of hope out there
for sure.
People thinking that it was going to be okay.
Yeah. It's really unfortunate. But anyway, hopefully we learn from that in the industry, and people who have done money on it or whatever it is can pick themselves up and move forward in a positive way. That's all we can hope for. And anyone struggling with mental health and that sort of stuff, please yell out. There's people in the industry who can help. We just want someone to talk to. There's plenty of people around. All right, cool. So I think we're getting around to wrapping up the show now. I might move into some sort of closing remarks. Ashlie, anything you'd like to close the show with?
Well, where do I start? No, I'm kidding. No, really thank you for having me on and giving me the opportunity. It was a bit unexpected to get your message. Didn't really know why you'd want me on, but
I think people have listened and they'll know why. I think people have listened to the episode and they'll know why. It's definitely interesting. There's a lot. Yeah, I mean, for you, it's just your normal world, but for other people, it's fascinating. And there'll be people who draw parallels with their own lives, I think, with yours and their own journey. And I definitely think you'll be providing some inspiration with some people with what you're doing. So, yeah.
Anyone can reach out if they've got any of the same issues.
Yeah, perfect.
I'm happy to listen and share. But, yeah, no, thank you again. It's been fantastic. And hopefully we can do it again.
Yeah, for sure. Most definitely. Well, it's good to see you at a different time other than a industry conference. It's usually either in Sydney or at the
it's usually
All Energy.
Yeah.
So
different settings.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah. Oh, I always end up. Yeah, I somehow end up at a after we've had a few drinks at those things, end up at the same table as you. Some reason.
It always happens.
Works.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's such a good thing about our industry, though.
Yeah.
Like we have the networking.
Yeah, it's great, isn't it?
It just forms so many relationships with people through networking at
Definitely.
these conferences.
Yep.
While you can take in what's going on at the conference, new products, and it's just fantastic. We're so lucky to have what we've got.
It is. It's quite special. I was talking with Andy about it last week. It's quite a special industry with all that, and we love getting together and seeing each other. And that'll probably be the next time I see you. I think probably at All Energy.
Over a beer at All Energy.
Probably that's the most likely place.
Yeah.
All right, cool. Well, thanks for that. Well, good stuff. I appreciate you making the trip down from Echuca, and then still got another 3 hours, I think. 3 hours, I think?
Yeah, well, I actually won't be home till Sunday.
You did mention that. You did mention that, so that's...
Go do the fun stuff for the weekend now.
Yeah, that'll be cool. Well, that'll be good. Well, that's good. Well, it's good you got this out of the way by lunchtime on Friday, which is cool. So, all right, well, hope you have a nice drive back. And, I really appreciate you coming in. It's been a really nice chat. Going through a lot of the stuff you're doing, I do feel like you are providing inspiration to people in the industry. So thanks for doing that. And I'm sure Solargain are happy to have you as well. So
I hope so.
Yeah.
No, I'm kidding.
All right, great stuff. Well, thanks everyone thanks to all the listeners for listening. We will be back next week with another guest. I really appreciate everyone listening. We have also, just before we go, I'll just mention, we have our own Spotify channel now, and also we have our own YouTube and Apple Podcasts at the moment, which is going back through our website, which we have. So a lot of the promotion for the show is happening on sort of Facebook and LinkedIn, a little bit on TikTok and that sort of stuff. But yeah, as we get through the next few weeks, we're looking to upload the older episodes onto that channel. And they won't just be on the Radio Carrum channel. They'll also be on the Solar Sidekicks, so you'll be able to find it there. And yeah, please jump onto our socials and give us a like or a comment. Some feedback on the show, be really appreciative of. Good, bad, even if it's just neutral, whatever. Happy to hear anything, and any guests who are interested in coming on and think they've got a story to tell, I'd be more than happy to hear it. All right, well, thanks again, Ashlie Bryan, for coming on, and thank you to all the listeners, and we'll see you on the next episode of Solar Sidekicks. Thanks very much.